Yo, what's going on, guys? KG from Rough to Be Buff TV here. What we are going to be covering today is the world famous Bulgarian split squat. So what you guys are about to see in this next tutorial is we're gonna go from point A to point Z on different progressions of the split squat, exercises that you guys should be mastering before you get into more advanced versions of the Bulgarian split squat, and a few pitfalls and a few things that you guys need to know as far as your mobility goes, range of motion, before you guys get into the actual movement. So hope you guys enjoy the video. Okay, first things first, before we go into the Bulgarian split squat, you gotta ask yourself two things. Do I know how to, one, static lunge, two, dynamic lunge? So when we're looking at a static lunge, super simple, static meaning we're staying in place. Static lunging would just be here. We're just driving straight down and straight up. And then are my mechanics clean? Is my back straight? Am I getting full range of motion? Second part is, do I know how to dynamically lunge? Which I think is super important, because when you're dynamically lunging, one, you guys gotta learn how to balance, and then teach your guys selves good stability within the knee, the hip, and then also the foot. So first two things, do I know how to static lunge, and two, do I know how to dynamic lunge? And then from there, we move into placing our foot and going into the Bulgarian split squat. A few different things you guys can use. You guys can use a small block. A lot of you guys that have benches can use a bench. You guys can have stackable like PLYO boxes or step boxes. You guys can also use something similar to this, where like an ankle pad where you can rest your foot. If you're looking for more instability, then that's going to be the TRX. So if you guys, that'll be kind of one of the last progressions that we go over as far as adding some explosion, adding some speed to the movement. So first things first, we're going to start off with a small block body weight. Hey sis! Hey! Look who's here! It's a little baby! You're a baby! Baby! What's her name?
Matilda.
Hi Matilda! What are you doing, little poo-poo head? What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, she's scared. Say hi, Rough to Be Buff TV.
Hi!
Bust out some moves for me. Bust out a dance move. Come on, let's see it. Bust out your skills, your skittles.
What song do you want?
Let me see y'all skittles.
Hold on.
Hey! Okay guys, first things first is we are gonna go over just a base body weight Bulgarian split squat. So what I like to do is I like to have something that's fairly small. We're gonna pike our toe up. Make sure that you guys are properly warm before going into this exercise. One, because a lot of you guys are desk bound or sitting in a car all day. Your hip flexors and your quads are overly tight. So one, make sure you guys stretch, get the blood flowing, and warm up a little bit before you go into the movement. So we're always piking the toe first and foremost. Now as far as distancing goes, you guys can get a little tighter, and it really goes based off of feel. Make sure the front foot stays flat. We're piking up on our back toe. That back foot isn't crooked. The abs are always checked in. I like to, just for good form, keep the elbows in L shapes right by our sides. You guys are gonna sink nice and slow into your split squat. Good rule of thumb is to try to get the knee to tap the ground lightly, and then just drive yourself up. If you can't get that far down, find kind of a sticking point. If it's a quarter of a lunge, it's a quarter of a lunge. If it's a half of a lunge, it's half of a lunge. But ideally, we want to work to get all the way down to the ground for just the body weight Bulgarian split squat. Okay, so next, a lot of you guys that have benches, use benches. A lot of you guys, most people use a basic weight bench. Two ways you can go about this, guys. One, you can just lay the ankle flat and then sink into your Bulgarian split squat here. You're gonna get more of a stretch though in the hip flexor, more of a stretch here. If you're looking to really intensify that stretch, you can see that my foot is flat here. If you're looking to make this more of a stretch for the quad and the hip, try piking the toe, and then from there, you're gonna have a whole lot more pull on that quadricep and in that hip flexor. So once again, make sure you guys are completely warm before you guys go into elevating the foot or piking the toe, all right? Next thing we're gonna be using, guys, is a little bit of a load or a little bit of a weight. Whether that be kettlebells, dumbbells, barbell over the shoulders. One thing I didn't explain a little bit earlier, that one thing with the split squat that's super, super beneficial for those of you guys that got back problems, who can't handle the load of a barbell compressing onto your spine, or maybe you have a pre-existing injury. The split squat's really good because we're only loading a single leg and we're not compressing the spine. So here I'm using two kettlebells. And the setup is super duper important, okay? So you guys always want to get into the bottom of your lunge first. Make sure that you're piking the foot and that you're sinking down, scaptioning the shoulders, bringing the shoulders back and together. You're gonna lunge down, make sure you position those kettlebells properly. And then from there, you're gonna see me open up my chest, and then I'm gonna start driving through my midfoot on my right foot and drive yourself on up. Nice and steady on the way down until those kettlebells touch the ground, and then drive right back up, okay? Now I'm just resting that back ankle on the ankle pad. About 90% of my weight is on this front foot, and already I can feel my quad burning, my glute driving, and I'm running out of breath to talk, so I'm probably not gonna do too many more of these. And then make sure that when you're done, lower the kettlebells down with good control. Everything always needs to be controlled, guys. On the eccentric part on the way down, making sure that you're touching that knee softly down to the ground, and then you're also coming up with good control. Form first over everything else. So the next progression, guys, is gonna be a plyometric version with the TRX. So if you come on in here, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take both of the TRX handles, okay? You're gonna place them together just like this, and then you're gonna take those foot loops here, and you're gonna go from behind the back, just like kind of when you step in dog crap and you check your foot, then you put your foot right inside of those loops like so, and then I'm gonna set myself up, okay? Now as far as the setup goes, the back leg swings away, my abs are checked in, and now from here, I'm gonna go into a base lunge. Before you start doing anything plyometric, you gotta ask yourself, do I have the balance to maintain? Because this is gonna be much more unstable than any of the other versions of the split squat that we just did. So once you feel comfortable with that split squat or that foot inside of the TRX, then we can start adding explosion. Okay, now for all of you basketball players, volleyball players, athletes, weekend warriors, this is a good way to build explosion through the glute and the hip. You don't need a whole lot of repetition. Just make sure that you're absorbing your landing as my quad and my ass is burning. So make sure, one, you got the stability. I'm out of breath. And that when you're absorbing your impact, that back leg is swinging away. Your front foot stays nice and flat as you land and absorb your impact on the TRX. Super important, guys. Remember, when you guys are going through this split squat, you know, I said it once, I'm gonna say it again. Make sure you're warm. If your quads feel tight, grab yourself a foam roller, which reminds me, I'll be doing a foam rolling video real soon here because I'm a big believer in soft tissue work. But some of the stuff that you're gonna see as far as on TRX is more advanced, some of the push-ups to the plyo hops. Just be sure that you guys are completely warm before you guys go into any of these movements, because the split squat one is an advanced exercise. It's not so advanced where you can't do it, but I have seen some folks that maybe don't have the hip mobility or the range of motion, and they start going into it, and then they kind of strain their hip flexor or they strain their quad a little bit. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time on Rough to Be Buff TV. Take care, guys, and have a great day.